YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today in season 6, I'm going to be giving you guys the #1 best build on next gen 2K22. Really quickly, like and subscribe if you eat food, and also let me know if you guys have any builds you guys are willing to let me borrow. I'm trying to do gameplay videos with fun builds, so hit me up if you're willing to help me out. So in this video, I'm actually going to show you guys 2 builds, and that is a guard build and a big man build. I feel like the 2 builds are just so different, I can't really say one is necessarily better than the other. But hopping right into the first build, this is going to be a glitched guard build. And for this guard build, you're going to actually want to start on the metric system, which you can pretty much just change in the settings of 2K22. For this first build, obviously, you're going to want to go with the point guard position. You can go with shooting guard if you want to, but definitely, in my opinion, point guard is a lot better. For the body settings, make sure you go with 1.77 meters, 66 kg, and then 1.78 meters for the wingspan. Also, really quickly, the way most people mess this build up is they drop the height all the way down to minimum and then bring it back up to 1.77 meters. If you do this, you won't be able to get 66 kg and this build will just not work. So instead, you're going to want to go straight to 1.77 meters, not down and then go back up, and then this build will work every single time. For the attributes and takeovers, pretty much just go with random stuff. This doesn't matter whatsoever, although you do have to do this in order to glitch the build. Right here on this screen, what you're going to want to do is scroll over to where it says edit build, then press X on edit build, and then continuously press circle or B until you back out to the main menu. Once you are in the main menu, go back to your settings and then change the units of measurement. After you have changed the units of measurement, go ahead and edit the build you just made. And then for the body settings, I recommend for the height going with 6'3". All around, I believe this height is just super duper good. I mean, it's just a really nice balance between defense, finishing, shooting, and playmaking. And all around, I just do believe this is the best. For the weight, I would recommend going with 174 pounds to give you a little bit better defense. And then for the wingspan, go with 6'9". Also, for the body shape on this build, I'm just going to go with defined, although it's kind of just up to you. So moving right along to the attributes, starting things off with finishing. For the close shot, I'd recommend going with a 54. Next, for the driving layup, I'd recommend bumping this up to a 76. And then for the driving dunk, max this thing out at a 92. All around, finishing on this build is really good for a point guard build. You're going to get elite contact dunks as well as 21 finishing badges. And all around, the finishing on this build is very good. Like, definitely not only do I feel comfortable dunking on this build, but a lot of the time I actually get bailed out with rim runs and contact dunks, which overall is perfect because I want this to be kind of like the BP build from 2K20. Moving right along to shooting. For the 3-pointer, you're going to want to max this out at an 88, and then for the mid-range, bump this up to an 81. You're going to get 28 total shooting badges, and trust me, this build is just not missing. You get pretty much every single important shooting badge on at least gold. And as well, you're getting an 88 3-pointer, which will become a 93 3-pointer if you buy boosts. All around, you're going to be able to green very consistently, and even if you do mistime your shot, a lot of whites are going to be dropping. Moving right along to playmaking, starting this off with the pass hack, bump this up to an 86. For the ball handling, bump this up to an 89, and then for the speed of the ball, max this out at a 92. As you guys can obviously see, the playmaking on this build is very good. You're going to get a Hall of Fame quick first step, as well as gold bullet passer, gold unpluckable, and gold quick chain, and plus 32 total playmaking badges. Like, all around, the movement and dribbling on this build is going to be top tier, and as well, the passing and playmaking on this build is quite good as well. For defensive / rebounding, I would recommend starting off by bumping up your perimeter defense to an 85. Next, I would recommend putting your steal up to a 90 and your block at a 56. Now, if you want to, you can go one higher rating on the block to get a 57, which will pretty much give you bronze chase down artist. Although, at least the way I play defense on a guard build, I'm not really going for chase downs that often. And for this reason, I don't really think getting a 57 block is that worth it, but that's entirely up to you to decide. But beyond that, the defense on this build is very good, especially for a point guard build. You're getting an 85 perimeter defense for gold clamps and a 90 steal for Hall of Fame interceptor. And all around, you'll definitely be able to hold your own on the defensive end, which makes this a very viable build for pretty much every single game mode. Next, moving on to the physicals. First, definitely start by maxing out your acceleration at a 92, and then what you do from here is kind of up to you. What I personally did and what I'd recommend you guys do is bump up your speed to an 85, for your vertical at an 80, and your stamina at a 93. I believe this is the best way of going about things, although you won't be able to get small contact dunks. However, if you do want small contact dunks, then you need an 85 vertical. And if you do want 85 vertical, what I would recommend doing is drop down your stamina to an 88 and also drop down your speed to an 82, and then you're able to get an 85 vertical. Now, personally, from my experience, I don't find that having small contact dunks makes that big of a difference. So I'm going to revert it to what I had from before, since after all, I don't really rim run that much anyways. Also, if you guys are wondering why my speed is pretty much always lower than my acceleration, is because speed helps you move around faster off ball, while acceleration helps you speed boost faster with the ball. So obviously for a point guard build, having acceleration is far more important. Also, you do have like a few ratings left, you just have to throw it on free throw, so go ahead and do that. This build in total has 100 badges, which is very, very good. And you guys can see it can literally do everything in this game. Its finishing is pretty good. You're going to be able to catch a ton of contact dunks. And as well, its shooting is pretty much top tier, and so is its playmaking. And on the defensive side of things, it's not like crazy or anything, but you will be able to hold your own. Honestly, I love this build so much, and it's definitely by far the best point guard build in my opinion. Obviously, you guys can see I don't have any free throw on this build. So if you guys do want to upgrade free throw, you can do this instead. First thing you're going to want to do is drop down the pass accuracy 1 rating. Also drop down the speed all the way to an 83 and drop the stamina down to 1 rating. And then you can pretty much get yourself an 85 free throw, which is definitely very, very good. Now for the takeovers, what I would recommend going with is actually double limitless range. Obviously, you're going to want to go takeovers that kind of fit your play style. And for me personally, whenever I'm on a point guard build, I'm pretty much always 3-point hunting. And for this reason, these are the best takeovers in my opinion. Like if you get takeover, especially double takeover, you're just not missing from anywhere. And as you guys can see, I built a two-way threat, which is honestly such a boring name, but it does tell me I've made a build that can do everything. So moving on to build number 2, this is not going to be a glitched build, and this is going to be a big man build this time. For this build, you're going to want to be on the Imperial system, and for position, I'd recommend going with center. You can go with power forward if you want to, but I just find center works the best for me. For the body settings, starting things off for the height, I recommend going with 6'11". Right now, currently, 6'11" builds are my favorite big man build. I'm not really sure why. I think it's just the best balance between movement, defense, shooting, and finishing. In my opinion, this is kind of the tallest you can go while still being able to dribble around a little bit and kind of push the ball and stuff. And all around, I just find that the movement on 6'11" builds is just very good. For the weight, I recommend going down to 219 pounds. This bumps up your speed quite a bit. And then if we move up our weight to 7'9", you guys can see this gives you a 91 defensive rebound, which is definitely very, very important in order to get gold rebound chaser. And then for the body shape, I'm still going with defined, but you can go with built too if you want to. Now starting things off with finishing. For the close shot, you're going to want to bump this up to a 79. For the driving layup, bump this up to an 83. And then for the driving dunk, you're going to want this at a 77. And then the standing dunk at a 90. You guys see in total, you're getting 24 finishing badges. And as well, all around the finishing on this build is quite good. You're going to be able to get elite big man contact dunks. And as well, you're going to be able to catch a ton of lobs and you're going to be able to dunk on everyone. Now moving right along to the shooting. For the mid-range, bump this up to an 80 and then max out your 3-pointer at a 75. You're going to get 21 total shooting badges. Obviously, this isn't like some crazy popper build or something, but you're getting 21 total shooting badges and you're definitely going to be able to green very consistently. Now moving on to the playmaking on this build. For the pass accuracy, bump this up to an 85. And then for the ball handling, go with a 65. And then for the speed with ball, go with a 53. You're going to get 17 total playmaking badges. And obviously, this isn't a great dribbling build, but you can still move around the court with the ball and you're going to be able to pass quite well, which is very important. Onto defensive / rebound. For the interior defense, you're going to want this at an 88. For the perimeter, bump this up to a 69. And then for the steal, you're also going to want this at a 69. And then for the block, go with a 57. And then go with 77 and 91 for the offensive and defense rebound. You guys can see the defense on this build is top tier. You're getting 32 total defensive / rebounding badges. And as well, you guys can see you're getting silver interceptor, gold brick wall, gold rebound chaser, and Hall of Fame rim protector. All around the defense on this build is very, very good. You're going to be able to get a ton of rebounds and a ton of blocks. And then for the physicals of this build, I'd recommend going with max speed and acceleration, as well as max strength, a 75 vertical, and a 93 stamina. All around, you guys see the physicals on this build is pretty good. I don't really think I need to explain this. In total, this build's going to get 94 badges, which obviously isn't like that crazy or anything, but you guys can see this build is able to do pretty much everything. The finishing, you guys can see, is top tier. You're going to get a ton of standing contact dunks. The shooting is pretty good. You'll be able to green consistently. And then for the playmaking, you guys can see it's at least serviceable, especially for a big man build. And then the defense, again, is just crazy. Also, if you guys are playing Pro-Am or Rec Center and you want free throw on this build, you can do something like this. First, drop down your Stamina 1 rating and also drop down your Speed 2 ratings and your Acceleration 1 rating. And then drop down your close shot all the way to a 73 and you can get a 68 free throw. If you want something even higher, you're probably gonna have to drop down your defense a little bit. But with a 68 free throw, I can make it at least somewhat consistently. For the takeovers, I would recommend going with first Stuff Blocks and then second See the Future. In my opinion, these are the best 2 big man takeovers. Also, if you want to, you can go See the Future first, but since this build has a lot better blocking than it does rebounding, I decided to go with Stuff Blocks first. And you guys see I built a 2-way facilitator, which is kind of an interesting name, but is somewhat accurate, I guess. And yeah, that's gonna do it for the video. I just give you guys the best guard and big man build on 2K22 next gen. If you did make it this far into the video, please like and subscribe. There's a gameplay video of me using a very similar glitch 6'3" build, as well as a dribble tutorial and the best animations on the screen right now. Like, comment, subscribe, go follow me on Twitter, and I'm out. Peace.